Hello friends, welcome to Technique. This is Nirmal here, and in this video we're going to do the detailed and full review of the Xiaomi Redmi Note 5 Pro. So Xiaomi Redmi Note 5 Pro is the latest mid-range phone below the 15K pricing in India, and it comes with quite good specifications and features being offered. So in this video we'll talk about the highlights of this device. We'll list out the pros and cons of this device. So before going into the in-depth review of the Redmi Note 5 Pro, let's first have a look at the specifications offered on this device. So it comes with a 5.99 inch Full HD Plus resolution display. It is powered by the Snapdragon 636 octa-core chipset. It is coupled with either 4GB RAM or 6GB RAM, and it has 64GB internal storage. And on the camera front, it has a dual camera. It has a 12 megapixel primary camera, 5 megapixel secondary depth sensing camera, and on the front panel it has a 20 megapixel selfie camera. It runs on MIUI 9.2 out of the box, and we have Android Nougat 7.1.1. And also there is a 4000 mAh battery. So that is the specification aspect of the Xiaomi Redmi Note 5 Pro. Now let's get started with the detailed aspects. Let's first have a look at the design and build quality. Now looking at the design aspect of the Redmi Note 5 Pro, it's a good device in terms of the design. You can see the front panel looks really good with 18:9 aspect ratio display, 2.5D glass and overall rounded corners. And looking at the back panel, you can see that the camera unit has a resemblance to the iPhone 10, and you can also see that it comes with the metal construction. But sadly you can see that the antenna bands placement is not very new. It doesn't look as good as the the Xiaomi's Mi A1, and you can also see that the top and the bottom panel of the antenna bands is made of plastic, which could have been avoided, especially when Xiaomi has a better design for the Mi A1. Now the rear panel looks are kind of subjective. Some people might actually like it. It's kind of okay looking device, but Xiaomi could have done a bit more with at least the camera design, and also removing this plastic materials at the top and bottom. And it looks pretty good, and holding the device is really good. So you don't have any issues holding the device. The tapered edges give it a good feel altogether, and the build quality is also pretty good. So that's the design and build quality of the Redmi Note 5 Pro, and it feels solid in hands, although it is slightly on the heavier side at 180 plus grams. It is definitely slightly on the heavier side, but overall once you get used to the device, it is definitely pretty easy to hold in one hand and use this 5.99 inch display. Next up, let's talk about the display. Xiaomi has used a 5.99 inch Full HD Plus resolution display. It's an 18:9 aspect ratio display, and you can see that the display quality actually looks really good. You have 2.5D glass included on this display, and there is also Corning Gorilla Glass support, which was kind of missing on the Redmi Note 4. But now with the Redmi Note 5 Pro, there is Gorilla Glass support. Although the version of the Gorilla Glass is not specified, it actually feels quite good because there is a protection offered, and the touch response also feels pretty smooth. The viewing angles are really good, and the brightness levels outdoor is also really great. So overall display has vastly improved from the Xiaomi's Redmi Note 4. Next up, let's talk about the software. So Xiaomi Redmi Note 5 Pro comes with Android Nougat out of the box, Android 7.1.1, and we have MIUI Global 9.2 on this device. So we have already seen MIUI, how good the UI is. It has a lot of additional features, including dual app support. Then we have app lock via fingerprint scanner, then second space where you can create your own private space, then the support for themes, and whole lot of features have been included here. It's a polished UI and does pretty good with the performance as well. But sadly the Android Nougat version is kind of a disappointment, at least for a phone released in 2018. Xiaomi should have gone with Android Oreo out of the box. So that's the software aspect. It feels quite good with the MIUI 9.2. Now next up, let's talk about the performance. So this phone is powered by the Snapdragon 636 chipset. That's the first smartphone to power with the Snapdragon 636 octa-core chipset, and we have the 4GB RAM variant which has 64GB storage as well. Now looking at the Antutu benchmark score of this device, you can see that the 636 is way more powerful than the 625, which is powering the Note 4 and also the Note 5. So overall in terms of the performance, it's a really good chipset, great experience overall, no lags whatsoever, and in day-to-day performance it was really good. Even when we played with heavy graphic rich games, we also uploaded a detailed gaming performance review of this device and found this device to be really good in terms of the gaming experience. and the Snapdragon 636 was a really good chipset overall in terms of the gaming experience without any sort of heating issues. And in terms of day-to-day experience as well, there was no heating issues on this device. Now the device comes with 4GB RAM and also 6GB RAM variant, but the 4GB RAM is more than enough for a day-to-day usage. Now the phone comes with dual SIM cards, 4G LTE and VoLTE support out of the box, and the SIM card is a hybrid one, so you have to compromise on the micro SD card slot in case you want to use two SIM cards. Now the phone comes with 64GB storage, so you can get around 50GB of storage, so that's quite good storage. But if you're a person who uses micro SD card, you have to compromise on one SIM card. Now the call quality on this device was really good. You can see the signal reception with Jio SIM card was really good, and we did not have any sort of issues with the signal strength. Now the speaker performance, the speaker is located at the bottom panel. It did a really good job actually. When compared to the Redmi Note 4, it was much more louder and it was pretty good output from the Redmi Note 5 Pro. So even in the speaker performance, Xiaomi has improved when compared to the previous device. Now the fingerprint scanner is located on the back panel. It is rear mounted fingerprint scanner, and it is pretty accurate and does a really good job. You can see it's pretty fast and does a job pretty well. No lags in terms of the fingerprint scanner experience. Now next up, let's talk about the camera. So this phone comes with a dual camera. We have a 12 megapixel primary camera, secondary 5 megapixel camera for depth sensing, LED flash, and on the front panel we have a 20 megapixel shooter for selfies. So this is the first actual Xiaomi smartphone to power a 20 megapixel selfie camera. Now we have talked about the camera in depth. We have done the detailed camera review of this device and found this camera to be a really capable camera, good detailing in daylight conditions, excellent sharpness levels, and overall clarity of the photos looks really good. You can also check out our detailed camera review video to get an idea about how good the camera performance is. Even in low light performance, the camera did a quite good job overall. And one of the highlights of this device is the selfie camera. It is a 20 megapixel shooter capable of great selfies. Probably one of the best selfie camera in the sub 15K price segment as of now, with excellent edge detection in the portrait mode. Now the video recording, the EIs did a quite good job. Although the quality was not stellar, it did a quite good job overall with electronic image stabilization, but sadly there is no 4K recording available as of now. So that's the camera aspect. Now finally the battery performance. So this phone comes with a 4000 mAh battery, the same capacity battery which we had on the Redmi Note 4 and also the Redmi Note 5, and the battery performance of this device is pretty good, and with a moderate usage you can get more than 1.5 days of battery life, and with screen on time almost close to 7 to 8 hours, or even more than that is possible if you are a moderate user. So that's the battery performance, and you don't have to worry about the battery performance on this device. So now summing up, how good is the Xiaomi Redmi Note 5 Pro for the price of rupees 13,999? That's 14K pricing for the 4GB RAM variant, and 16,999 for the 6GB RAM variant. Although both the variants come with just 64GB storage. Now let's list out the pros and cons. Now the pros include good design, then we have a great 18:9 aspect ratio display, excellent performance, good gaming abilities, then excellent cameras and great battery life. So, and the pricing is one of the top aspects of this device. So overall it's a great package with the Redmi Note 5 Pro. Now the device is in short of cons. The major con is that it comes with Android Nougat out of the box. So if you're not really worried about Nougat or the latest version, it may not be a major issue, but still for a phone released in 2018, Nougat should have been avoided, and it should have been audio out of the box. And other con include there is no USB Type-C port, especially when the Mi A1 had USB Type-C port. Xiaomi should have included USB Type-C port on this device, and also hybrid SIM card. That's another slight issue with this device. And also there is support for fast charging, but again the charging times were pretty much higher, about 2 hours for the 4000 mAh battery. So these were the pros and cons of the Xiaomi's Redmi Note 5 Pro. So overall, for a price of 14K, how good is the Xiaomi Redmi Note 5 Pro? So we feel the Xiaomi Redmi Note 5 Pro is currently the best smartphone you can buy for this price segment. It beats almost every other smartphone, and it's a great package overall in this price segment. So without doubt, our recommendation for any smartphone below the 15K price segment right now would be the Xiaomi Redmi Note 5 Pro. So that's it for this video. This is Nirmal signing off. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you in our next video. Have a great day.